This week we made our way down the Oregon and California coastline. We'd heard a lot about the amazing coastal scenery of Highways 101 and 1, and we decided to take our time traveling down the coastline and to soak in the sights. Our total driving distance on the 1 and 101 was 784 miles, or about 1,260 kilometers. We covered this distance in the span of 7 days. We stopped at Thors Well and marveled at the sight of the Pacific Ocean slamming into the Oregon coastline. Each new bridge that we cross leaves us guessing what adventure may await us on the other side of the causeway. Sometimes there is no adventure, but sometimes something magical awaits. As we soak up the sun on a beach, we're reminded yet again that we need to stop and make the time to explore and to relax. We really don't know when we'll pass this way again. It's 9:44. We're setting a speed record today. We got up, showered, ate breakfast.
Yeah, we actually got to take showers.
Yeah, it's nice. Twice in a week.
Yeah.
We are somewhere in the Redwood Forest, and we're just going
We're on
for...
the Avenue of the Giants.
Avenue of the Giants is where we are, and we're just going for a little walk and
It's pretty amazing.
enjoying these trees and the scenery. It's crazy good.
They are so huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Driving through the Avenue of the Giants was great, but the road was very narrow. We could see on some of the trees where other RVs or campers that had driven through had left their piece of skin against the trees, so it made for a little bit of anxious driving. At the end of this day, we backed the truck up to the edge of a cliff and simultaneously marveled at the beauty of the ocean and at the fact that we found somewhere to camp for free overnight. We're loath to pay for camping sites when we don't need to, so it's always nice to find a free cubbyhole to tuck the truck into and spend the night. The last section of the coastal highway before San Francisco was full of road construction. It made for a very slow grind of a drive. Driving into San Francisco across the Golden Gate Bridge was odd. We've been here so many times in the past, and it's one of our favorite cities. This time, we drove right through San Francisco, and we didn't stop at all. We're mindful of keeping our bubbles small as we travel through this COVID mess. The first rule of working in the kitchen is have a drink. No, that's the second rule of working in the kitchen. The first rule in the kitchen is turn on the water. This week in the kitchen I'm trying out a new dish. It's a recipe that I found online for poor man's lobster. We're going to have broccoli, bread, and the poor man's lobster. I'm heating up about a half a pot of water, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that to a boil. While I'm waiting for that water to come to a boil, I'm going to chop up the broccoli. I'll add a few cloves of garlic into a small saute pan and a little bit of olive oil. Once the garlic has started to brown, I'm going to add in the broccoli. One of the challenges of cooking in the tiny kitchen is our lack of pots and pans. We could have more pots and pans, but we don't have the space for more pots and pans. So it's a constant juggling act of where should we put which dish, what can we heat where, and where can we keep things to keep them warm after they're done cooking but before we eat them. Once the water reaches a rolling boil, I'm going to add about a cup of sugar and about half a lemon. I'll bring that to a boil once again, and then I'll gently and lovingly place about a pound of defrosted cod that's been chopped into 1-inch cubes into the water. The cod will initially sink and then float back up to the surface when it's done cooking. Leave the cod alone. Don't go fishing for it until it's done. It'll fall apart. Join us next week as we continue south, hit Vasquez Rocks, and then aim ourselves towards Nevada, working our way down the Las Vegas Strip and moving on to Area 51. You don't want to miss it.